Here are today's top stories. Malacanang considers the resolutions adopted by the Inter-Parliamentary Union as an affront to the country's justice system. An aspiring board member from Maguindanao and her grandson are shot dead in North Cotabato. The military is looking at the land dispute, or the NPA as behind the massacre in Negros. And good news to motorists as a major price rollback on fuel products is implemented on Monday. Good day, I'm Pia Rosas Marato. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom.
The Makati Regional Trial Court has upheld President Duterte's Proclamation 572, which renders Senator Antonio Trillanes' amnesty void ab initio or from the beginning. The court, however, adjuncted the plea of the Department of Justice to issue an arrest warrant against the lawmaker. Makati RTC Branch 148 issued the resolution Tuesday afternoon, although it refused to divulge the decision until it is served to the DOJ and the Trillanes camp. Trillanes would be committed to jail had the court upheld the DOJ's petition, as the crime of coup d'etat is non-bailable. The senator is out on bail for rebellion and is facing sedition charges. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Rom Dulfo.
In what seems like an early election-related act of violence, a candidate for Maguindanao Provincial Board member and her grandson were killed in a shooting incident in North Cotabato on Sunday. Superintendent Aldrin Gonzalez said the Cabacan Police has launched a manhunt against the gunman who shot by Susan Montawal, an aspirant for Maguindanao Provincial Board in the 2019 election, and her grandson Datu Haris Montawal. Police said Susan Valdez-Tamon Montawal is the wife of former Montawal Vice Mayor Bao Montawal, while Harris was a former Vice Mayor's grandson. Gonzalez said the Montawals were rushed to the hospital but were declared dead on arrival at the Cabacan Medical Specialist Hospital. Superintendent Bernard Tayong said the Montawals were walking back to their vehicle when shot by the two suspects. Tayong said the incident could have been linked to a personal grudge rather than politics, as most of midterm election-related activities such as campaigning have yet to begin. Another international organization has portrayed a negative image of the Philippines. Presidential spokesperson and legal counsel Salvador Panelo said the Office of the President considers the resolutions adopted by the Inter-Parliamentary Union, or IPU, as well as its subsequent decisions on the cases of Senator Laila de Lima and Senator Antonio Trillanes IV during its 139th Assembly in Geneva, Switzerland, as an affront to the core of our state's principles. Panelo added that it is unfortunate that another prying organization has once again cast aspersion on the integrity of the legal processes of the country. Malacanang considers such actions as interventions on domestic affairs and puts the Philippines in a bad light in front of the global community, and worse, such one-sided evaluations infringe on Philippine sovereignty. Panelo further added that it is apparent that this organization of foreign parliamentarians does not respect the ongoing proceedings being conducted by our courts of justice when it reached an incredible conclusion on the cases involving Senators Laila de Lima and Trillanes. Unsurprisingly, the IPU reached such conclusion even without hearing the side of the Philippine government. The PAS urges the IPU to refrain from commenting further in the aforementioned cases, as these are veiled attempts to influence the outcome of the cases, which are now pending before local courts in any case. Panelo assures the IPU or any global organization that the Philippine justice system remains independent, effective, and functioning. Malacanang has condemned the killing of 9 people at a sugar farm in Sagay City, Negros Occidental last Saturday. Police say armed men shot dead the victims, who were alleged members of the National Federation of Sugarcane Workers. The 9 had occupied a farm at Hacienda Nena in Purok Fire Tree before the shooting. Presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo assured the families of the victims that the government will conduct a thorough and impartial investigation. AFP spokesperson Edgar Arevalo says the military is saddened by the incident, which local police had blamed on the New People's Army. Arevalo expressed condolences to the families of the victims, adding that they are now awaiting the results of the official investigation being conducted by the Philippine National Police. Meanwhile, the local government of Negros Occidental has offered a total reward of 500,000 pesos for any information that could lead to the arrest of the suspects. Malacanang has denounced the recent attacks by the New People's Army in Camarines Sur and Negros Occidental. This comes after NPA members ambushed the convoy of Food and Drug Administration Director General Nela Sharade Puno in Lupi, Camarines Sur last week, which led to the death of 3 police escorts. The NPA is also being pinpointed for the killing of 9 members of the National Federation of Sugar Workers in Sagay, Negros Occidental Saturday night. Presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo assured the families of the victims that the government will conduct a thorough and impartial investigation. Meanwhile, DILG OIC Secretary Eduardo Año slammed the CPP, NPA, NDF for its lack of sincerity in holding peace talks. Año says the latest offer by CPP founder Jose Maria Sison is meaningless if NPA attacks on police and government officials are ongoing. The National Food Authority seeks to get over 2 million bags of rice from farmers this year, and Cebu Pacific receives a 7-star safety rating. More on these in our Metro News Roundup.
The National Food Authority is confident it can reach its target of 2.6 million bags of rice bought from farmers this 2018. This as farmers reported improvements after selling their palay to the NFA at the farm gate price of 20 pesos and 17 centavos per kilo. The NFA says it has over 200 buying stations aside from mobile procurement teams that are ready to accept palay for sale from farmers. Meanwhile, the Philippine Coconut Authority has committed to allocate 10 million pesos to improve the local coconut industry. Agriculture Secretary Manny Piñol says the fund will be used to outline an updated coconut industry roadmap, which the industry currently lacks. Piñol says among the problems they hope to solve are the cocolisap infestation and drop in prices of copra raw materials in manufacturing coconut oil. In other news, Cebu Pacific has received a 7-star safety ranking from airlineratings.com, the highest ranking that the online airline safety and product rating review website confers. AirlineRatings.com awards airlines that have completed 3 stars based on the International Air Transport Association Operations Safety Audit. The IOSA aims to reduce airline accidents and also improve safety through simple maintenance programs. The airline has achieved full compliance with the IOSA, joining a roster of over 400 airlines worldwide that have strictly complied with its international standards governing aviation safety. For the PNA Newsroom, I am Miguel Hill.
Still to come, beneficiaries of the government's Balik Pilipinas Balik Hanap Buhay program have increased by about 250%. And motorists are in for a treat Monday morning with a big drop in the price of unleaded gasoline. These and more when the PNA Newsroom continues.
Agriculture Secretary Emmanuel Piñol said prices of commercial rice have declined by as much as 5 pesos per kilo and are likely to drop further. President Rodrigo Duterte and Energy Secretary Alfonso Cusi signed an oil exploration deal with Israeli firm Ratio Petroleum aimed at boosting the Philippines' energy resource development. President Rodrigo Duterte expressed support for the initiatives of the Silk Road Chamber of International Commerce, which seeks to promote trade and economic development in the region. After more than 5 months of closure for rehabilitation, Boracay Island on Monday partially reopened to local tourists. Workers in Region 10 will get an increase in minimum wage ranging from 27 to 35 pesos effective November. The filing of candidacy for the 2019 polls ended on Wednesday, with 152 individuals running for senator and 185 party list groups eyeing a House seat. Malacanang paid tribute to soldiers who sacrificed their lives in retaking Marawi City from the clutches of Maute terrorists. President Rodrigo Duterte is set to announce his decision on the temporary suspension of the scheduled oil excise tax hike for 2019. The minimum fare in public utility jeepneys and buses is set to increase at 2 pesos and 1 peso respectively after it was approved by the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board.
Beneficiaries of the government's Balik Pilipinas Balik Hanap Buhay program have increased by about 250%. Overseas Workers Welfare Administration Chief Hans Leo Kakdak says the program has helped 35,000 to 40,000 OFWs this year, a huge jump from those they served in 2016 and 2017. The program helps distressed OFWs who want to set up their own business upon their return to the Philippines. These include victims of abuse, human trafficking, illegal recruitment, or those with issues in their contracts. Beneficiaries can receive up to 20,000 pesos from the government. They will also receive trainings on financial literacy, entrepreneurial development, and livelihood skills. Private motorists were in for a treat Monday morning with a big drop in the price of unleaded gasoline. Gasoline prices went down by 1 peso and 85 centavos per liter, while diesel pump prices are rolled back by a more modest 90 centavos per liter. This follows downward price adjustments of gasoline and diesel implemented last October 15. An oil executive meanwhile said a big-time rollback in diesel prices will likely make more of an impact because it fuels mass transportation. Nonetheless, any rollback is a welcome development, especially if it turns out to be sustainable. World crude prices are seen to soften next year, although oil prices are expected to shoot up as winter season in Europe and North America creeps in. After the successful rehabilitation of Boracay Island, the Department of Environment and Natural Resources says it is not considering the same move for Baguio City. Environment Secretary Roy Simato says the local government can address such problems without the need to close the city. The secretary cited some of the problems in Baguio, such as waste disposal, buildings erected on no-build zones, and poor sewerage system. He said that the department could help address these issues while tourists still continue to visit the summer capital. Following the closure of Boracay, speculation cropped up that Baguio would be the next tourist destination that will be closed for rehabilitation. For his part, Mayor Mauricio Domogan said that the city government is addressing issues of a final garbage disposal facility. The mayor also cited various measures that address air pollution and sewage in the city. PHIVOX reports several earthquakes in Sarangani, and citizens will be given the authority to arrest litterbugs in Boracay. More on these stories in our provincial lineup.
Several earthquakes rocked Sarangani in Davao Occidental early Sunday morning. The Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology recorded a magnitude 4.8 quake southeast of Sarangani. A magnitude 5.4 quake hit the area 20 minutes later. PHIVOX also recorded 4 more aftershocks. No damage or tsunami threat was reported. Meanwhile, Cotabato City has been recognized by the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry as among the top 10 most business-friendly cities in the Philippines for 2018. Cotabato is also the only first-class city to receive a special citation this year. The city was recognized for assuring business sector growth and confidence by supplementing government efforts to reduce drug abuse, criminality, and efficient streamlining of business processes. This, as the partnership between the local government and the business sector resulted in a 38% increase in the number of new businesses in the locality. And as the country strives to improve the tourism sector, the Department of the Interior and local government is set to hold inspections in all resorts in the country in preparation for the reopening of Boracay on October 26. DILG-OIC Secretary Eduardo Año says this is to ensure that all tourist destinations are following environmental laws. The DILG hopes to make Boracay the gold standard for all resorts in the country. Meanwhile, DENR Undersecretary Benny Antiporda says they will allow citizens' arrests to strictly enforce the guidelines against littering on the island. Members of the Compliant Association of Boracay will deputize its members to become marshals to catch litter bugs. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Benj Bondo.
Trouble erupts in Paradise as an Australian traveler suffers a knee injury while trekking along the Taro Cliff in El Nido, Palawan on Saturday. The Coast Guard station reports a 24-year-old Australian national Gabrielle Lauren Phillips suffered a 10-centimeter laceration on her knee after slipping on a shallow ascent of Taro Cliff. Her companion, 22 years old Kane Phillips, immediately reported the incident. Ensign Harvey Marmol of the Coast Guard says it was raining that morning when Phillips and her companion went up Taro Cliff, where most tourists like to go to get a good view of Pakit Bay and the whole municipality. Phillips was immediately flown to Manila for further treatment. Up next, nearly 700,000 people marched in London on Saturday afternoon demanding a second Brexit referendum. The PNA Newsroom returns after these reminders. In foreign news, Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan and U.S. President Donald Trump have agreed to seek clarification on the death of Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Turkey's presidential press office said the two presidents agreed that all aspects of the case should be brought to light. Khashoggi has been missing since he entered the Saudi consulate in Istanbul on October 2. Saudi Arabia claimed early Saturday that Khashoggi had died in a brawl in its consulate, but it did not explain the cause of his death. The kingdom earlier said Khashoggi, a staunch critic of the Saudi government, left the consulate alive. Turkish officials, however, claimed he was murdered by Saudi agents, an action allegedly ordered by Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Trump had also raised the possibility of imposing sanctions. The UK, France, and Germany have also expressed shock at the death of the journalist. Nearly 700,000 people marched in London on Saturday afternoon demanding a second Brexit referendum. Participants in the People's Vote March are seeking a new referendum where they demand a fresh vote on Brexit. At the head of the march was Vince Cable, the leader of the Liberal Democrats, who marched alongside Mayor of London Sadiq Khan and leaders of London's political parties. The People's Vote March was organized by groups supporting remaining in the EU. Among them are Open Britain, Wales for Europe, and Britain for Europe. The Metropolitan Police said the protest was held peacefully. In an effort to promote safety, security, and camaraderie, the Presidential Task Force on Media Security or PTFOMS, Philippine Practical Shooting Association, Media Bureau, and Arms Corps conducted a nationwide media fun shoot in Manila, Cebu, and Davao. Members of the media and their family members were treated to a whole day of fun-filled shooting activities at the Camp Caringal in Quezon City, Cebu City, and Davao City. Undersecretary Joel C. Edco, Executive Director of the PTFOMS, who is a former media practitioner and shooting enthusiast, highlighted the value of practicing safety and security in light of recent violent acts against members of the Fourth Estate. EDCO emphasized that under the Administrative Order Number 1, it is the PTFOM's mandate to ensure that journalists are allowed to practice their profession without fear or favor. He said that the Handbook on Media Security has also been published and will be made available to all media practitioners in the hope that this will prevent or avert acts of violence against them. This handbook will also be made available to other journalists in Asia and around the world. EDCO said that this activity and other efforts of the PTFOMS is a gift from President Rodrigo Duterte, Communications Secretary Martin Andanar, and the task force to journalists around the world. Madrasa education is an important part of learning for Muslims, and one teacher is inspiring students and fellow teachers to practice its values. His dedication has earned him the title of Most Outstanding Madrasa Teacher. Here's a report.
If teachers are key to the destiny of their students and consequently their ever-unfolding society, then Abu Benhar Sihabon is devoting his life to prove that dictum right. This is validated by the Most Outstanding Teacher for Madrasa Education Award that was conferred on him by the Department of Education during the World Teachers' Day celebration in Zamboanga City. Sahibon teaches madrasa education to 72 grade 6 pupils at the Arena Blanco Elementary School East. Under the Madrasa Education Program, kindergarten and grades 1 to 6 Muslim pupils in public elementary schools are required to attend classes where they learn Arabic language and Islamic values for Alive. Sihabon says Alive aims to build character as well as solidarity among the students, especially among those who belong to different tribal groups. What made Sihabon is a cheerful 45-year-old half Tausug and half Sama deserving of the Most Outstanding Teacher for Madrasa Education. The award was launched only in 2015. He is currently the president of the Zamboanga City Association of Alive Teachers. He continually undergoes MEP trainings and exposures, and he says he regularly echoes his learning to the members of the association on his own initiative to level up their teaching capacities. If only for this commitment, he is outstanding indeed. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Benj Bondo.
Let's now check out the weather forecast for Metro Manila and the rest of the country. Here's another look at today's top stories. Malacanang considers the resolutions adopted by the Inter-Parliamentary Union as an affront to the country's justice system. An aspiring board member for Maguindanao and her grandson are shot dead in North Cotabato. The military is looking at the land dispute, or the NPA, as behind the massacre in Negros. And good news to motorists, as major price rollback on fuel products is implemented on Monday. Thank you for watching another edition of the PNA Newsroom. To check out these and other stories, visit the PNA website or follow the Philippine News Agency on Facebook and Twitter. For more stories about the government and how it serves the Filipinos, look for these hashtags in all for social media platforms and websites. And that's your daily dose of the latest news and information that you need to know from the PNA Newsroom. I'm Pia Rosas Murato. Good day.